This is the last lesson in Module 5. Yay! We are going to evaluate variable expressions. So basically, it's order of operations with just a little bit of a twist. We're going to do a substitution before we evaluate. So let's take a look at problem number 1, which has 4 parts. And we're going to use these values. So here we go for every single one of them. So A, we're going to evaluate 8z. That means 8 times the value of what z is. So it's going to be 8 times negative 4, which gives me a negative 32. So you're like, I get it. All right, so now how about B? B is the absolute value of 2 times whatever they gave us for x, which is negative 2, minus 3 times whatever they gave us for y, which is 1. Keeping the absolute value symbols until the very end, let's evaluate what it's inside. 2 times negative 2 is negative 4, and then 3 times 1 is 3. So it's negative 4, take away 3. Now don't start breaking out in hives, because negative 4, take away 3 more, will give me negative 7. And the absolute value of negative 7 is 7. There you go. So you just have to be a little bit careful. Let's look at C. So it's going to be 7 times whatever the value is for x, which is negative 2, and then I got a square. Notice how I'm just squaring the x. So we're going to square the negative 2 first and then multiply it by 7. So it's going to be 7 times negative 2 times negative 2 is a positive 4, which gives me 28 overall. And last but not least, in this slide is x to the negative third. So I'm going to put in what x is valued at. It's negative 2, and raising it to the negative third power. And the reason why I did this example, it can just trip you up like you wouldn't believe. So first I'm going to deal with the negative exponent, not the negative number. The negative number is raised to the negative exponent, but that exponent doesn't want to be negative. So he needs to be moved, and he changes to a positive exponent. The base stays the same. So now we could wicked do this, not a problem. So negative 2 to the third power, let's think about it as negative 2 times negative 2 times negative 2. And that gives me a negative 8. So the evaluation of this expression is 1 over negative 8. Next. Okay, now we have some different values for x and y. And so it says if the result, when you get the result, it's not an integer, we're going to write the result as a fraction, either a regular proper fraction or an improper fraction. So here we go. Part A says, okay, we are going to substitute negative 1 in for x. And in the denominator, I'm going to put 2 in for y. And then I'm going to put 2 in for y again, and I'm going to square it. So basically, I'm almost done. I just have to do some evaluation. So here we go. 11 times the negative 1 is a negative 11 all over 2, and 2 squared is 4. Now what I would like to do is rewrite this so that I can add the fractions. I need a common denominator, which is 2. So 4 is 8 over 2, right? And negative 11 plus 8 will give me a negative 3 over 2, and I'm done. No, I don't have to change it to negative 1.5 because it says you can write it as an improper fraction. So leave it. Now B, same thing. Just because there's fractions in the problem, just take your time. You can do it. So here we go. It's going to be 9 times y, which is 2, plus 70 over x, which is negative 1. 9 times 2 is 18. 70 divided by negative 1 is a negative 70. And 18 if I add to it a negative 70 will be a negative 52 because I owe you $70 and I give you 18, so I still owe you $52. Next slide. Now, again, they're just getting a little bit more intense, but the process is the same, okay? We have to stick with order of operations, substitute in, and then stick with that order of operations. So again, x is now 6, y is 10, z is negative 3, so it's going to be 6 squared minus 2 times 10 squared plus negative 3 squared, okay? I recommend doing this if you can without a calculator because sometimes a calculator can give you the wrong answer if you don't input it properly with parentheses. 6 squared is 36. 10 squared is 100. Negative 3 squared is 9. So this is going to be 36, take away 200, plus 9. 36, take away 200 would be negative 164. Add 9 will get us down almost 10, so negative 155 is the result. Let's do B. Now, I threw in a lot of extra negatives to mess everybody up, so it's going to be negative x squared, so we're going to just do 6 squared. So we're going to square the 6 and then negate. Plus 3 times 10 squared minus negative 3 to the third power. Okay, 6 squared is 36, and then I'm going to negate. 10 squared is 100. Negative 3 cubed means negative 3 times negative 3 times negative 3, which is a negative 27. Now let's rewrite some of this shenanigans. So it's negative 36 plus 300 plus 27. Okay, cool? So now, generally, when we're doing this, we're going to go left to right. So let's go for it. A negative 36 plus 300 is 264. And then to that, I am going to add 27. So when I do that, I will end up with 291. Okay, last but not least, let's substitute in and just get one fraction in the end, and we're going to let x equal 2. So it's going to be 2 squared, and then I'm just putting that little 2 in parentheses, so it's like cozy. Plus 1 over 2 squared plus 3 times 2 minus 4. So here's the deal, you guys. You're going to do all the operations on the top, all the operations on the bottom, and then if it divides nicely, fine. If it doesn't, leave it as a fraction. So this will be 4, take away 4 plus 1, which will just be 1 on the top. Denominator will be 4 plus 6 minus 4, which will be 10, take away 4, which turns out to be 1/6. So we really don't have to do anything else. To simplify, just leave it as it is. And now you are ready to do the last assignment in this module. So good luck and ask lots of questions if you don't understand something.